We move on to the Middle East, where tensions in the region are escalating sharply as Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu signals a new ground offensive in Gaza, saying more than 2 million people will be moved from the territory. This comes as Israel's blockade on Gaza reaches day 65. Hospitals are reportedly just 48 hours from collapse, with the Gaza media office warning of a humanitarian catastrophe. According to an AFP report, Hamas has stated that there's no sense in further ceasefire talks, accusing Israel of waging a hunger and extermination war. The Palestine Red Crescent says famine risk is extreme and food is nearly gone from markets and distribution centres. In Washington, President Donald Trump reiterated a US pledge to help deliver food to Palestinians, but did not comment on Israel's expanded operations. The US president is also scheduled to meet Gulf leaders in Riyadh. International backlash is mounting. France has slammed the plan as unacceptable, while China has voiced opposition to any displacement of Gaza's population. This is what China stated.
高度关注当前巴以局势，反对以色列持续在加沙开展军事行动，希望各方连续有效执行停火协议，重返政治解决问题的正确途径、正确轨道。
On Monday, massive fires broke out at a cement factory in Yemen following Israeli airstrikes on Hodeidah port and nearby areas. The Houthis have said that 4 people were killed and 39 wounded in the latest Israeli strikes on Yemen. The strikes came just a day after Houthi rebels fired a missile that landed near Israel's main airport. Footage aired by Houthi-run media showed scenes of devastation at the Barjil cement factory east of Hodeidah. Firefighters were seen battling immense blazes. One body was found among the rubble of a collapsed structure. At least 21 people have been injured, according to the Houthi-run health ministry. Residents were told that more than 10 strikes hit areas around Hodeidah, including the Al-Salakana and Al-Hawak. The Houthis have since sealed off the affected zones, including the port and the factory. Israel has said that it targeted what it called Houthi terrorist infrastructure, and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was seen overseeing the operation from the Air Force Command Center in Tel Aviv, joined by Defense Minister Israel Katz and Army Chief Eyal Zamir. While the Houthis claim the airstrikes were a joint Israel-US operation, a US official denied any involvement. We are joined by Mark Sofa, former ambassador of Israel to India, located in Tel Aviv, to dive into this in a bit more detail. Mark, thank you very much for joining us on the program. The Houthis have threatened to impose an aerial blockade on Israel. What measures are being implemented by the Israeli government and defense ministry to ensure the safety of air travel and maintain flight operations? And what's the feeling about this aerial blockade in Israel?
Well, first of all, I'm certainly, as I've mentioned before on this program, I'm not a spokesman for the Israeli government, very far from it. As a matter of fact, I'm extremely opposed to the current government. But as a matter of fact, as we're talking about the Houthi attacks on Israel, let's not forget that the Houthi is an Iranian proxy. Their only goal, their only aim is to disrupt life and activity and ongoing activity in Israel. And no country would sit idly by while its airports and its civilians are battered day and night by missiles coming from somewhere in the thousands of kilometers away. And we're one of them, we won't either. So yes, we retaliate. We don't initiate, we retaliate, but we ensure that this rebel Houthi Iranian proxy will at some stage in the hopefully very near future not be able to continue its incessant attacks on Israeli civilian populations throughout the country, and as we saw just yesterday on the airport.
Mark, as you said, this strike that Israel conducted on Yemen was a retaliation of a strike a day prior, which actually got through Israel's defense systems, which was very rare. The Houthis fire at Israel all the time, much to no avail. But this must have been quite a shock for people in Israel, no? That this rocket actually got through the defense systems and landed near one of Israel's main airports.
Well, I think everyone in Israel realizes, and I think around abroad, that we have around the world, that we have this system in place of defense, a defense system for missiles coming from we live in a lousy neighborhood, let's not forget, coming from as far away as Iran or Yemen. But these are not 100% fail-safe. They're not 100% proof that nothing will get through. And when dozens of rockets and missiles are being launched, so the vast majority will be shot down and be outside of Israel or in other places, but not 100%. And we don't expect it to be 100%. And this one got through. Yes, it's very sad, it's very bad, and very dangerous spot. But that's what we're up against here in Israel, the population I'm talking about. And we're thousands of kilometers away. They're not a neighbor of ours. And it's difficult to know what to do. This is on a day-to-day basis. There won't be an armed boots on the ground, of course, but how to stop these killers, whose only, as I say, is to carry out Iranian orders of attacking Israel. Now that Iran has been booted out of Syria, booted out of Lebanon, that's their next resort is Yemen, their proxy in Yemen.
Mark Sofa, thank you very much for joining us and your insight. Very valuable.